ISIS today. As I said before, this temple right here was the last temple of the ancient African Kemetic Nile Valley civilization that was closed by the Byzantine Roman emperors. That is Theodosius in the 4th century AD and Justinian in the 6th century AD. The last time that the Hindu lecture was written, the last time it was spoken, it was right here. And who was it that maintained the integrity and the history and spirituality of ancient spiritual teachings right here at Kemet, the Temple of Aset, and that is our Tanahisian brothers called Nubians today. They were able to hold off the Byzantine Roman army by maintaining the tradition that was taught here. And this is the temple that we also talked about where you see where Aset was chiseled out. We see the prototype of the Madonna and Child. And that was the fear, the fact that they were plagiarizing many spiritual ideas. They knew that this temple, as well as the others, had to be shut down, and they were shut down for over 1,000 years. Kemet did not speak to the world any longer. Even though the world had benefited from the spiritual teachings as well as concepts of civilization, all came from here. Now you see that line up there right across the Bekinet or pylon? Pylon, as I say, is a Greek word, but you see the Bekinet. That tells us that this temple was at one time under the Nile, as well as under the sand at one time. Also, like some of the other temples that we saw at Dandara, and also that we saw at Kamumbo, these Greeks came in and usurped the throne. Like I said, Neo-Dionysus, meaning the new Osiris that some of the Ptolemies were actually calling themselves. When in fact, that was a plagiarized concept from ancient Kemet. In this temple, we're going to go to the little shrine of Imhotep. It's one of the places that we can see Imhotep carved in stone. Here, this multi-genius, when you saw the medical instruments there at Kamumbo, unfortunately, his head was knocked off. His head was knocked off because this is a Kemetic African Nile Valley genius who was a physician 2,000 years before Hippocrates. You're going to see a picture intact. There's Bastek, greeting all of you that are coming here. Also, we see that this temple goes back to an early period of Taharqa. The last Kemetic ruler was Nectanebo, who built to and dedicated to Heru that you see in the back. But as you look at all the various lotus columns right here, showing that they were expressing Mother Nature. But again, this was long before the Doric, this was long before the Tuscan, this was long before the Composite, and the various, as they referred to as the 5 orders of architecture. Here, Kemet was already expressing that thousands of years ago. But where we are now, this is not the original island. They actually dismantled this whole temple from the temple of Philae, that the Greeks call Philae. And because of the building of the old dam, this temple would have been under the water, so they had to, UNESCO, they took and dismantled this temple and put it on this island called Angelica, even though it's still called Philae today. Had they not done that, this temple would be under the water. So again, we can see the preservation of this temple because of the historical background. But at the same time, even though the temples are here, let's also let the temples tell the truth about the history of ancient African Kemetic spirituality and the prototype of the Madonna and Child and Holy Mother and Holy Child in Immaculate Conception, as well as the Holy Father Ashra. These are the stories that's got to be incorporated as many millions of people come here